were 7 different drivers that occupied the seat of that 33 car. In 2010, just one. And a lot of people are saying that is the secret to your success this year, Kevin. Do you agree with that? And if not, why?
Well, that's really what we built our program around is what I like in the cars. And when you get the feedback every week and we can take it back to the shop and analyze it and make the changes and adjustments that we need, it makes it better every week. So today our Jimmy John's car is really good in race trim and didn't qualify as good as we'd like to, but I think the car will be good in race.
And I'm hearing that between the Truck Series wins and the nationwide wins, the celebration lunches are backing up a little bit at the shop.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. So it's been an incredible start to the year with the trucks and the cars, the Cup cars running good. So right now life is good.
Good time to be Kevin Harvick, and a good time for him to be our in-race reporter tonight. If you'd like to have one of your questions asked to Kevin, go to ESPN.com, search Ask the Driver, and submit your question, and maybe he'll answer it. Alan?
All right, David, thanks. Kevin starting in the 10th position for tonight's race. Why is winning in his own car different for Harvick? Andy, championship crew chief, won races with many drivers, including Dale Earnhardt. You also won races as a team owner. What was the difference?
Well, winning races in any capacity at the top level and at a nationwide level it's a big deal. It really is. But when you actually win as an owner, you're responsible for all of those positions. You're responsible for putting the driver in that position, the crew chiefs, the sponsors on the cars, the way the cars are built. You have a hand in all of that. And when you win with your own stuff, it means a lot, let me tell you.
That is Andy celebrating a win as a team owner back at Talladega. That was Bobby Hamilton behind the wheel. Great day there. This team has won 3 of the 5 races this year in the Nationwide Series. Tony Stewart at Daytona, a couple for Kevin, what's made the difference for Harvick Incorporated this year versus last?
I really think it's Kevin Harvick, number one. I mean, he had a lot of drivers a year before. Right now, Kevin's staying in this car. He's designing everything. He's telling the guys what he wants in the setup, what kind of shocks he wants. I mean, basically, Kevin is his own onboard computer. He's the guy feeding all the information what he needs, and because of that, he's built consistency, he's built fast cars, and that's what you got to have if you're going to build a foundation for a new team. He's doing a great job at it.
Well, I also got to give Kevin a lot of credit for having the commitment to make this thing work. I mean, he got out of a car that was winning races regularly at Richard Childress Racing. I mean, they were having a lot of fun. He made the commitment to get in the car and drive this thing and make it work. And he didn't have a lot of success doing that. I mean, they took some bumps, but now they're reaping the rewards of that, and they're winning races. And, you know, my hat's off to Kevin. He has really done a great job.
As a team just in the Nationwide Series this year, 3 for 5, not bad, and Harvick looking for more tonight. If Kevin's going to win tonight, he's going to have to outrun Greg Biffle, among others. Biffle tied with Carl Edwards for most Nationwide Series wins here at Phoenix at 3. And as you see by those numbers, if Greg's in the field in the Nationwide Series at Phoenix, he's going to be a factor. Now, Biffle's the defending winner of this race, and he's really given the underdog Baker Curb Racing team's cars a good run so far this season. Shannon?
Well, the last time Baker Curb went to victory lane, it was back in 2005. Greg, it's an underfunded, underrated team. What would it mean to get to victory lane with this team here today?
I mean a lot. You know, we came so close at California Speedway racing Kyle for the win there. Came up a little bit short, but I think we have a really good car for tonight, and I like this racetrack. So we'll just see if we can put it together for him.
Your crew chief, Ricky Vyers, the first season that you're working with him, he said that you're as cool as they come. What's it like been working with him?
Ricky's a great guy. He's really thoughtful. He's thinking through things, and you know, we've just hit it off really good together. And I'm enjoying working with him, and hopefully we can get a win before this thing's over.
Greg Biffle, your defending race winner, rolls off 4th. Alan?
All right, Shannon, thanks. We'll keep an eye on the Biff tonight. Time now for our J-Ski News and Notes. Remember the nasty crash Steve Wallace suffered in last Saturday's Nashville race? Watch that 66 car and watch how far the safer barrier deflects when he hits the wall, just to know how tough that car and that crash was. Steve suffered some broken bones in his right foot, and Dad, he's racing here tonight with the help of a little specially designed shoe.
Yeah, it's got a special shoe, but I talked to him. He says he feels real good. The doctor gave him some pain relief right before the race about an hour ago, and I believe he's going to be in good shape. He feels good about himself. He's got a carbon fiber fiberglass insert in the shoe to keep his toes from bending? Yeah, absolutely. They took a piece of carbon fiber and molded it to the bottom of the shoe so his toes won't bend at all, and that's what they want to do, and it's working for him. David Rudiman standing by in case Steve has to get out of the car. I know, he's a race driver. He's a Wallace. He's not getting out of that 66 car tonight. Steven starts 12th. Now, we have to get you guys from here, outside of turn 2, over to there on top of the grandstands. Start your clock. Quickly.
Clock is running. Go.
Bye.
While we do that, take a minute to remind you about the ABC NBA doubleheader coming up on Sunday. It is at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. The top two teams in the East, Dwight Howard and the Magic, taking on LeBron James and the Cavs. Then at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, Kobe and the Lakers look to get back on track when they host Brandon Roy and the Trailblazers. It's the NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC. Coverage beginning at 12:30 Eastern with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown. Coming up next, Carl Edwards looking for a fourth Phoenix win tonight. We go driver to driver with Carl and find out just how long he's going to keep up his double-duty schedule. And Brad Keselowski lined up in one of those all-important front-of-the-grid starting spots. We'll hear from him and explain why those first four starting spots are so critical. All coming up on NASCAR Countdown, presented by Hellmann's.
Is presented by the mayonnaise that's real and delicious. Hellmann's.
Coming down for the green flag at Phoenix International Raceway. And Carl Edwards pulling away. Here comes Edwards, and it's a half a car length, and Edwards will get the win. Here they come at Phoenix International Raceway.
Biffle taking the lead when Carl Edwards had engine problems.
Just squeeze that throttle down, bring it to him.
Greg Biffle will win it at Phoenix. Jack Roush has now won 100 races in the Nationwide Series. Phoenix International Raceway is green.
Carl Edwards is out front now, setting a torrid pace.
Carl Edwards trying to hold on.
Here comes Carl Edwards as he takes the win over Kevin Harvick.
Well, no one team has enjoyed the kind of success in the Nationwide Series at this Phoenix Mile that Jack Roush's team has. Roush Fenway Racing has won 7 times, including the last 3 straight. The next highest win total is 2 for Richard Childress Racing. No question Phoenix has been just fine for Roush's Fast Fords. Roush driver Carl Edwards has won 3 times at this track, including 2 of the last 3. Our Dale Jarrett sat down with Carl to talk about his recently becoming a father, how long he'll continue to run double duty, and more, driver to driver.
In the last couple of years, the drivers that we have seen out here in Cup and Nationwide, winning races, winning championships, are the ones that are really more physically fit. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Sometimes I look back and I think, man, I wish I would have never said anything about working out, because every time I go to the gym, there's more and more guys in there. I think that everyone's realizing that that's a more important part of it.
Knowing that you're going to have a child, you still finding time to be able to do that, and you set that aside, still very important to you, right?
Yes, it is. Kate understands that's a huge priority, and no matter what, I think at the end of the day that helps me to have that extra 1 or 2% of performance.
1998 is when I really started taking my fitness a little more serious.
Yeah.
No coincidence, I won the championship the next year, and I think it had a big part of it.
Hopefully, like you, it can yield me a championship someday, but right now I'm lifting a lot of weights and not winning a lot of races.
You've done both series for a number of years here. Do you see it anywhere along the way wearing you down and could become a detriment more than it is help?
I've thought about that a little bit lately. You look at Jimmy Johnson, he's doing awfully well without running any nationwide races. And for me, I think that to this point, I've gained 2 years of experience every year. So I came into this thinking, man, I don't know anything about pavement racing to begin with, and I got all these guys I got to catch up to. Now I'm starting to think that eventually, maybe not next year, but pretty soon, I'm going to just focus on the Cup Car.
We talked about how quickly you kind of came onto the scene, a little bit from obscurity to all of a sudden here you are winning races, winning championships in the nationwide side. Where do you see yourself as far as going in this sport?
I look at what some of the guys have done, starting their own teams and the successes they've had. But I think along with that comes a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And, for me, I feel like I have to establish myself as a driver. I want to win the Cup championship. I want to win another nationwide championship. Until you get to the top of one thing, I don't think you should jump to the next one.
Well, Carl Edwards has already accomplished one thing he needs to in order to try and win tonight by qualifying on the pole. By the way, Carl started on the front row for all 3 of his Nationwide Series wins here at Phoenix. That leads directly to our Hellmann's recipe for success, which tonight is simple. Start up front and stay up front. Here's what I mean. 13 of the 16 previous Phoenix Nationwide Series races had been won from the first 2 rows on the grid. So for those that qualified well, stay out of trouble, have clean pit stops, and stay in position to succeed. And here that means be at the front of the pack. This race is a night race when all the practice was this morning, so staying up front means adjusting your car without losing time on pit road. And for more on that, we go next door to our Craftsman Tech Garage and champion crew chief Tim Brewer. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. One of the quickest changes a crew chief likes to make is air pressure, because you can change that air pressure before the car comes on pit road. You don't have